today we've got something very, very special. We have a 1976 Ducati 900 Super Sport. It has 8 original kilometres only. It's never been driven on the road, and it's sat in someone's living room for about 25 years, and then it's sat in a person's office for the rest of the time. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be giving it a nice clean only. We're going to keep on as much of the originality as possible. It still has the original tyres from the factory, so we'll be cleaning that up as well. It is actually going up for auction very soon, so what we will be doing today, we're going to have a clean all through it, all through here, all the aluminium, all the bright work is going to get cleaned up. We'll try and leave some of the original dirt on the inside of the fairing and make it as original as possible. So I don't really know how to go about this as far as talking about it at the moment, because I'm a little bit awestruck with it. Something this rare, and to have the opportunity to work on it is really exciting for me at Straight Line Detailing. So stay tuned. We're going to have the video rolling all day and possibly into tomorrow as well. So we'll go through it as we're talking about it then. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe for more content on exciting machines like this one here. So some of the tasks I'm going to be doing is cleaning up things like this, all through here. All the wheels are going to, all the bright work needs to be done on the wheels. Cleaning off the dirt. This fairing comes off so I can gain access into the engine. The bright work will be cleaned. The fins, all we're going to be doing with them is taking the dirt off and any oil or grime that's on there. It is a running motorbike. It's not seized or anything, so you can see the odometer there. That is 8 kilometres only. So to be given the opportunity to work on this bike, I've known that it's been coming for a couple of weeks now, and I haven't said anything to anyone. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked, and I feel pretty privileged to be able to work on such an amazing machine. Cafe style racer bike. Doesn't look very comfortable, but for what it is, it's yeah, it's a pretty special unit. Okay, so one of the things we need to worry about today is keeping the originality of the bike, things like that. So I won't be cleaning in there too vigorously, obviously. Inside the fairing, apparently from the factory, they're pretty ordinary. So just got to be mindful of things like that in the fairings. These come off, so I can get in behind there. The owner has already taped off, I think that's the carby, but yeah, we'll be careful enough not to get it wet as much as possible. So you just need to be mindful. The owner has already loosened the brakes today because during transport this caliper here had squeezed on, and it was very tough to move the bike around, but it's now free spinning, so I'm able to work on all this area here, try and get as much of that bright work done as possible. There is something in here that I do want to show everybody, and that is, it's a bit hard to get underneath here, but can we see that tag there? So that tag there is from the factory, and it's a seal just to show that it hasn't been opened at all. So I'm still trying to get my head around something so old that's only done 8 kilometres and never driven on the road. I'll clean all this area up and make that nice. Original decals as well, so we won't be doing a machine polish. We'll only be doing a hand polish on the paint. So those decals are a little bit scuffed up a little bit, so I'm going to be very careful around that as well. I've actually got a layer of grease on them. I don't know why, but it's pretty dirty. So we've got battery in behind here, so we'll clean all that up as well. I might take off that tape that he's put on around the carburetor and just so I can clean in behind it, because he's covered most of the side there, so I won't be able to clean underneath that if I leave that on. Same as here, you can see here where he's tried to protect it, but we'll take this part off and the rest I'll be able to get to it. Soap that I have from G3 Directla, and we're just going to give it a nice gentle wash. Got a couple of brushes I'm going to use, and then what I'll do is I'll wipe it down with a nice clean microfiber as well. Where there's grease or anything like that, I do have a multi-cleaner and degreaser, and I'll use those as well. You'll have to excuse the vacuum noise in the background. My son is cleaning his car in the background. Well, as you can see, we're slowly making progress through the bike. So a lot of close corners that I have to get into with small brushes, and also one of my wheel woolies that I use on tighter areas, but it's coming off pretty easy. Luckily there's no road grime on it, so that's not too bad. The only thing that we do have on there that is a bit of a pain is grease and oil from the chain and where the motor is leaked and things like that. So all in all, it's coming together really good. I'm very happy with how it's coming along so far. There's going to be quite a few hours in it, and yeah, lots of sore fingers to go. So we'll keep going, and we'll come back at a later time. Right, the product I've been using on here is G3 Pro Multi Cleaner from Ferekla. It's a new product that I've been lucky enough to trial for a while. It's very good. We can use it on fabric, we can use it on any surface whatsoever. It doesn't really matter what it is, but it's not corrosive and it leaves, it's not like you have to actually get another cleaner to clean it off afterwards as well. So what I'll do is I'll just spray the surface, let it dwell a little bit, and then I'll clean it off. Okay, just spray it on like that. Just let it dwell for a little bit, and then we continue on, wipe it off and clean it up. Not real comfortable getting down here like this, I tell you, but you know, it is what it is, and it's what we do to make sure that we get the job done correctly. So just using a tool in here just to wedge my way in through there to get all the areas out and clean. Does look a lot better than what it was previously. So, well, I'm rounding the last now. So this side has been done, underneath has been done. I've done this part of the wheel, the brakes, etc. I've started on this part here, but what I have to do is do all the inside, all the spokes, etc., and then clean this tyre. So once I've done all of that, then I'm able to start to mask up certain areas and do some metal polishing. So I'm looking forward to doing that. It's been close to about 6 hours now, just getting all the grime off. So it is a pretty tedious job, but something that, you know, I enjoy doing. So yeah, probably maybe another hour or so before I can start doing some polishing, but you know, it's it'll look good once it's done. It's the same process as what I did with the back wheel. So we've got some multi-purpose cleaner from G3 Ferekla, and probably a little bit harder on this one because we've got brakes both sides. So just polish where I can and move the wheel around. Okay, update on the DUCATI. So nearly 7 hours. We finally finished all of the hard cleaning. So everything has been cleaned in around there. So all the grime, oil, grease, any kind of chain oil that's been on there, etc. It's all been cleaned up. Any glue, gasket goo, we do have in through the fairing. I used to brush in on the bottom part and then hosed it out. In through the dash, done there. I haven't cleaned any of this yet, so that's still to be done. So now I'm up to polishing tins, rear end, etc. Any paintwork that I can see on the bike, I'll do by hand today, and mudguard as well. Because this rubber is pretty old, I don't want to get any polish on it or anything like that, so I'm just taping it off. It's a lot easier to take something off than it is to rework it by scrubbing and having to use chemicals, etc. So yeah, a little bit of advice: if you're unsure on how it will react, tape it off. So even the seat, I'll tape it off across here. That's just a rubber that can come out, but that's pretty important to make sure that we don't get those rubbers dirty. Normally I use machines, but being that this is so old and original, I don't want to get any form of hassles. These are original decals as well. This is really cool to see. So something that's held up for so long because it hasn't been exposed to the elements as much, but it's still a little bit dirty. You'll be able to polish off the excess glue that's around it. Just use a clean microfiber to buff it off. Now that I've polished the fairing, I'm going to concentrate on the light as well, and this part here, and then we just have the tail left to go, and then it's fully polished. So what we'll do then after that is we'll then wax the painted areas. I'll put the fairings back on and also up here, and then we'll start the machine polishing on the casing and the chrome work. DUCATI is going to look amazing. Impressive. All those marks, normally I would try and get stuff like that out, but being that this is a vintage bike, we are keeping it 100% as it rolled out of the factory. It's still pretty glossy. That's the main point that we wanted to make. So there is some sanding marks in there from the factory. I don't know if you can pick it up there, but they're all sanding marks from the factory. So this has never been repainted, but you can see how original this bike is. The next step is, now that that's protected, I'm going to work on the seat. So we're going to give that a bit of a clean, and then we're going to put some leather protection on it. Don't know if it's vinyl or not, but the product that I've got works just the same anyway. So once we've done that, then we'll get on to polishing the bright work. Okay, well, welcome back. It's day 2 of the DUCATI 900 SS detail. So last night, before I finished up, I put the covers back on after polishing them, and I also cleaned the seat, protected that. I did some bright work on this side, so I'll show you later on in the video what I've done on this side. I'm still not finished, so I've still got probably maybe another 2 or 3 hours on this side. Then I have to work on bright work on this side, do the wheels, do the tyres, put the fairing back on, clean that up, etc. So maybe 6 hours, I reckon. Hopefully it's no more, but it's a pretty big job. My hands are pretty sore, my fingertips. Yeah, they're gonna need a manicure, I reckon. But bike's looking insane. Can't wait to present it back to the owner and get his reaction. So I'm really looking forward to that part of it. So anyway, I'll get cracking, guys. So I'm going to continue on this side of the bright work, which means I have to get down on the ground and work down probably off the floor. Hence why I haven't got the camera on this side. So anyway, let's get cracking. Okay, so we're done through here. All the bright work on this side is now complete. Looks pretty good. I haven't done the front wheel, of course, but I've done the back wheel. So it's looking pretty nice through there. In there as best I can get it with the tools that I have, which is my fingers. But the chrome on here is insane. Absolutely beautiful. So now I'm going to start on this side. I've done this side of the wheel as well, so you can see how clean that's come up. Inside, it's pretty difficult to get inside the wheel because I don't have any little polishing tools to get in there other than my fingers. So I have to do all through here, up to there, through here. We'll do the casing, pipe work, tap up here, and then I have to move to the front wheel. So that's going to be a bit of fun. Once that's done, then I'll just go back over the whole bike and see any parts that I've missed, anything that needs to be improved, etc. But it won't be long, and yeah, we'll be ready for the next part. Well, this area is it's got a little bit of corrosion in there, which I'm not going to get out simply because to do that I'll have to sand it. We don't want to be doing anything like that, so what we're going to be doing is just polishing it with a machine, and parts of it will be done by hand, and a little tool that I use with cloth getting in around those areas and things like that. But what I'm using is microfiber discs, and I've gone through a few of them already on the other side, and just a little bit of metal polish. Don't need to use a lot because it will go a long way. So a bit on there. Of course, everything turns black, so I've taped off the casting areas that I don't want to get metal polish on. Put it on like that. I've got it set on a low speed, so it's on about 2.5, and just got to be careful because this isn't a random DA, this is a direct drive, so it will kick and still run and spin if I come up to an edge or anything like that. So patience and just go slow. White, get rid of all the black there that's on it, and it will give you like a half decent shine. So I'll go over this a few times just to bring it up a little bit brighter. So I don't know how bright it was from the factory. I don't think it would have been highly polished, but the customer has requested that I do the bright work, so I'll bring it up as bright as I can and still try and look factory as much as possible. So anyway, back to it, keep going. Any area areas I can't get to with the machine, I'm gonna obviously have to use my hands. So still comes up alright when you're using your fingers and hands, but you know, machine is obviously easier to use. Grab the camera and show you what it looks like. So still a bit of work to do around the edges. Obviously I've got to get in there, in behind that pipe. That will have to be done by hand. And down in there it will also have to be done by hand. But you can see how good it's coming up with a bit of machine work. Okay, just showing you some of the bright work that I'm doing. So this side here I haven't done yet, but I've done this one here. So you can see the difference in being able to get the carbon off. So I'll show you how I do it in a moment. And I'm using a machine. A lot easier to use a machine. There's no way in the world my fingers would get that off. So the only way to get something like that in that condition is to actually use a machine. So I'll show you in a second how it works. I am also using a fair bit of pressure on it as well to get that hard carbon off. So still a few marks left on it. So these exhausts are actually original from the factory in Italy. So they haven't been re-chromed or anything like that. What you see is factory original, so pretty impressed with that. There's a little bit of scale left on that, just there, and there's another little bit there. Compared to the other side is really, really nice. You can see in there's no scale in there at all. This one here, a couple of little bits of scale left on there that I'll try and get off. Hopefully I can get them off with this final pass. Of course, if this bike was ridden, these chrome pipes would look a lot different than what they do now. I'm pretty happy with that. So there's a couple of little marks there, but it looks like, you know, that might actually be in the metal itself. So being that it's right inside the exhaust, I'm pretty happy how that's come up. Use a clean cloth. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's get another light. Yeah, that's not going to come up any better than that, because if I keep going, I'll probably end up wearing some of the chrome away. Very good. And this is the other one, so not bad at all. Okay, so I've just polished in through here as well by hand. There's no other way of getting in there, unfortunately, without taking things apart, and obviously we're not doing that. So, but it's looking 100% better than what it was. There was a little bit of age on it, where you could see where dust had settled and tarnished it a little bit, but it's certainly looking a hell of a lot better now. So of all the bright work, there's only the front wheel left to go, so and the top of the forks, and then that's it for the bright work. So thank God. Tell you what, I'm getting pretty sore on my fingers. These little digits here, they've had a workout this weekend, that's for sure. So so far we've spent 11 hours on it now, so hopefully I've only got a couple of more hours to go, and then we'll dress it again, dress the tyres, and yeah, take some photos. So back to work. Okay, so the final step now is the front wheel. So I'm going to be focusing on the outer, both sides, inside there on the hub. I'll do by hand, and in here all I can do is by hand as well. I'm not going to get a high shine in here the way I am on here, because obviously I'm using a machine, but it will look a bit better than what's in there at the moment. I'll hand polish things like that as well, and I've also got to hand polish the shockers there as well. So just tidy it up a little bit more, and now that it's dry in here and I've got the sun out, I can see where I've missed a couple of areas yesterday, so I'll refocus on there, get rid of some of that dirt and grime in there, in those little points where I couldn't see yesterday. So yeah, next part is, this is the old one that I've been using on the exhaust, so I'll change to another one that I was using on chrome. Simple process. Because the back wheel free spins, I was able to just hold the machine there. With this one here, I'm going to have to go like that and then move the wheel. So here we go. So machine's set on about 3. And I'll work that area there, and then I'll spin it around. Hopefully the camera can pick up the difference between where I haven't done and where I have done, so not too bad. This 1976 Ducati 900 SS is one of 700 made worldwide. With only 8 kilometres from the factory, I'm truly honoured to have been chosen to bring it up to this level. It's now ready for auction. It was a great experience, one which I've learnt a fair bit about this amazing machine. In total, there was just over 14 hours of manual labour in this process. Due to its age and the condition that it's in, everything had to be done by hand. The only part that we had to use a machine was with the metal polishing, and even then we had to be careful of where we were because there were so many parts that could be damaged with the spinning machine. With the tyres, I scrubbed them with general purpose cleaner, and then after they were completely clean and dry, I then hit them with NV Onyx Exterior Series Satin Tyre Gel. This doesn't have a greasy feel to it, but as you can see from the results there, it is really nice to look at and it doesn't look too glossy or slippery. When I revealed the bike to the customer, the look on his face was just priceless. I was so proud to be able to present the vehicle in the condition that I did. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for further content. I will be doing more bikes in the future. So stay tuned and thanks for watching.